Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It's me, Kia Simone, and y'all, I think I found us a show. So I finally got bored with TikTok. I know. But anyway, I finally got bored, so I finally turned my TV on and went scrolling through some apps. I said, well, let me see what's up here to watch. And I came across The Real Housewives of Dubai. Now, first of all, this is the second season, but we're on the very first episode, so we caught it at the very beginning. And secondly, when I tell you these people are fabulous and fashion and opulence and over the top for absolutely no reason, and it's everything that's up my alley. Oh my God. Now keep in mind, this is going to be from the perspective of somebody who has never watched a single episode of this franchise. Like I said, this is season 2. There's a whole season 1 that I ain't never watched a single episode of, so I don't know who got beef with who got money for real and who don't. Now I do remember seeing a clip from their reunion and somebody was on that damn Epstein list, so apparently they got enough damn drama. But I do think that this show is going to be more enjoyable than some of the other shows I've attempted to review in the past, simply because yeah, they got their drama and all that shit, but I don't understand what they could have to fight about other than who's richer than who, and that's my kind of argument. So I say, you know what, we need a show. This show is at the very beginning of its season. I feel like I'm gonna enjoy it. It has just enough drama, but they also have the 3 F's, fabulous, fashion, and finance, to offset that shit. You know, balance is the key to life for me. So let's get into it. Before we do, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you've not already. Now, I may at some point, I probably will at some point, go back and binge watch season 1, but I'm just gonna review from season 2, episode 1, from where I got introduced to this. So the episode opens up with them in Dubai, because that's where this is set, in opulence and fabulousness. So just picture it. The first scene of the episode opens up with a lady named Ayan, who puts me in the mind of supermodel Iman. She looks so much like her. Oh my God. She's in the back seat of what I believe is a Porsche, being chauffeured by who I believe is her husband, accompanied by who I believe is her son. I said, you better be rich, fabulous, and have a beautiful family. Now, thank God she got all them things, because sense of humor, that might not be her thing. She's in the back seat trying to crack some knock-knock joke, I guess to entertain her son, who is damn near grown. The boy looking around like, who's there? Because I'm damn near at adulthood, so I know ain't nobody looking for me about no damn knock-knock joke. Then we move on to Lisa's house. Now, Lisa, oh, when I tell you, Lisa is drop dead gorgeous to me, and she got the lifestyle to match. This month, because at home in her big fabulous kitchen, she is talking with her son, and in comes her husband, who is so amused and entertained by his little family, and he laughs and rich. Lord, I see what you've done for others. Another lady, I'm not sure who she is yet, she getting her wig saged. The Caroline lady, the one who got the tagline that said the only thing old about her is her money. She home making TikToks with her man. This is the life I'm supposed to be living, God. How I got down here in the trenches. That's just the intro to the episode. They ain't even started yet. Now we're about to get into the first scene. So in the first scene, we see Ayan, the one who looks like she could be Iman's little sister. She's going to meet Lisa. Lisa is the gorgeous, fabulous one with the cute little boy and the husband who laughs and rich. They're going to play paddleball in the middle of the day, in the middle of the week, because that's what rich ladies do. Ayan is in the confessional draped in garbs of wealth, talking about how she and Lisa are as close as God and Jesus. They talk all day, every day. She said, you know, they just keep up with regular stuff. Like, did you use the bathroom today? I saw that's what it's like to have no worries. Ayan said their closeness, that relationship that they have, is the only reason she down here to this paddleball place, because she don't know nothing about this. Lisa said it's all the way up her alley. She said, now the peasantry of America may not be familiar with this, but paddleball is quite popular in Dubai. She said they get together and wear cute outfits and burn calories and gossip. When I grow up, Lisa said, now Ayan don't know nothing about a sport to save her damn life. She's only there because Ayan is the type of friend that don't like her friends to have other friends. And Lisa is telling her, I can have my own damn friends. You're not going to tell me I can't have friends. She said, yeah, you can have friends, just not when I'm around. Hence her being at the paddleball court today in the flyest outfit she could find. Why this lady got on a whole orange coat is beyond me. So they get to playing their game of we are rich and fabulous and ain't got else to do. And of course, Ayan don't know what she's doing. Lisa drags her all up and through the court, but don't neither one give a damn because they both got their goal met. Lisa got her a paddleball session in, and Ayan got her cock blocking in. You ain't gonna have no new friends fucking with me. So they get through their paddleball session and they sit down and have their smoothies and catch up on their gossip. Well, all Ayan want to talk about is how she is the most fabulous y'all know. She said, yeah, all us were going to Beyonce. And I know some of y'all had VIP, but I just want it to be understood and recorded on the record that I had V.V.I.P. I was down there with Kendall Jenner and Beyonce mama them, all right? I just make sure y'all put some respect on my name. Lisa is in the confessional explaining that when Beyonce came to Dubai and they had that whole weekend of events, she said the finale was the concert and money couldn't even buy you a ticket to that. She said you just had to be that girl, and she happened to be that girl. Ion says she is so happy that she can relate. She and Lisa both got upgraded to V.V.I.P. and the other ladies were so jealous. But child, the other ladies had something to say about that. Now, I think there's two Carolines on the show. I think there's the black Caroline and the white Caroline. Now, I done told y'all about the white Caroline, who said the only thing old about her is her money, and sis is fabulous. Her and the other Caroline, who's a black lady, I think that's her name. Well, they are saying that they don't give a damn about what Ion and Lisa talking about, because just because you were in the nosebleeds with Kendall Jenner don't mean that you had the best seats in the house. They said they were so close to Beyonce, they could feel her sweat and smell her conditioner. So check that. So they can say whatever they want to say. I'm like, oh, we were in V.V.I.P. But while I was catching Beyonce's sweat, they were in that V.V.I.P. a block away. Speaking of old money Caroline, we cut over to her life, where she is riding around in some expensive sports car with her new husband, Sergio, who she's only been married to for about a year. But to say they are newlyweds, I'm kind of concerned, because this scene opened up with them riding around in the car and he's asking her, are you excited for this, honey? And she says absolutely nothing. So he asks her again. She does not respond. So I'm thinking, well, maybe they had an argument before they started filming, and she over there like, I know he ain't playing with me in front of these motherfucking cameras trying to ask me if I'm excited, and you know I'm 2 seconds from cursing you clean the fuck out. That's what I assumed. But I mean, you can see he is clearly confused. So I'm like, well, maybe they're not arguing. Is this the shit that goes on inside the rich and fabulous marriages? So he asked her again. He said, are you listening to me? She finally responds and says, just give me a moment. That man said, see, this is what I'm talking about. When I tell you, I feel your presence, but not your energy. I said, oh, wait a minute now, not newlyweds. Oh, we got some problems. She comes back with Sergio. There is not a couple on the planet that spends more time together than you and I. And that may very well be true. You can be present physically and absent in every other way. Now, I can't say that is the case, because I've literally just started watching these people, but this scene is quite alarming. I got my eye on them to see exactly what's going on. So as Caroline is in the confessional, kind of catching up with production about what's going on with her life and marriage, she's saying how she and Sergio have been married for a full year now, and they're showing clips from their wedding, which I am assuming happened last season. And they're asking, well, how's life going? She said it's going great. It's going the way marriages go. Sex is getting to be less, which is great. What? Do you know how I would damn near throw a marriage away about some bad sex? It would take prayer, a preacher, and a bad prenup to keep me in some but the sex is getting less. Excuse me, what? I do not for the life of me understand, why do people marry people that they don't like that? Why do you marry somebody who you are in the back of your mind thinking, I can't wait till he get over this shit. I can't wait till he get tired of touching me and he'll leave me the fuck alone. Why would you marry somebody and feel like that? Like, at the first sign of somebody acting like they don't want to be touched, or don't want to, hey, we got a problem. We need to talk. I don't give a damn if we talk to each other, a marriage counselor, or a divorce lawyer, but we need to talk to some damn body. She goes on to say that her new husband is still clingy as ever, and she's trying to cut the umbilical cord. I said, what in the reverse Oedipus complex is going on here? Not you think he your child. Why are you married to somebody who you feel like is clingy and you want to cut the umbilical cord? Like, do you just want somebody that you can reject on a daily basis? I'm trying to understand the mentality behind it. So we start to get into what's going on in their lives, and their storyline and decision to stress out their brand new marriage that's already on shaky ground is they decided in their first year of marriage to build them a brand new home from the ground up. Now, y'all barely built this damn marriage from the ground up, but I mean, you got money, get down. But you know the old folks say money can't buy you love. So though they have all the money and they can do anything they want, Caroline has said in the confessional that building this new home has put a strain on their marriage, because not only are they building a new home, apparently they don't have an old one to be in. She said the problem is that they had to move out of their apartment. They moved in with her best friend, Michael. They were only supposed to be there for 2 weeks and they ended up being there for 12. I know it's a problem around that motherfucker. But she said the only rule that her friend gave her about them staying in his house is, please don't be christening my whole house. Don't be around here busting it wide open all over the place. But I guess he ain't threatened her with nothing but a good time, because she was just in the confessional celebrating being touched less by her husband. So we finally arrive at the destination that they were headed to, which is this new house. And just like they were discussing, it is undone. She said building a house in Dubai is extremely stressful. First of all, getting a mortgage is like winning the lottery. She said because of her age, she's in her mid-40s, that the people required her to do a full physical to get a mortgage, basically to prove your ass ain't gonna drop dead. You gonna live to pay this money back. I guess this and next time bring cash and we won't have to check your ass. Now, as they're walking through the house, they're looking at the different rooms and talking about what the rooms can be purposed for. Caroline said in the confessional that Sergio's ovaries are on fire. So they were going through IVF last year, and she does have one boy embryo that's frozen and it can stay there for the foreseeable future. I'm trying to figure out why y'all want a baby, because it don't seem like y'all sure that y'all want a marriage. I mean, or maybe he's married to her, but she ain't quite married to him. This is something ain't right about this. On the flip side, I do kind of get where she probably is coming from in terms of she's 46 years old. I don't know if she already has kids, and if she does not have any children, and she maybe has mentally adjusted herself to the idea of not having children. You're at a stage of life where you've lived your life a certain way for a number of years. You're accustomed to having your own time, your own freedom. You don't have to really consider anybody else. You can live your life any way you want to live your life. I can get how, even though she's getting up in age and having a child might be something that has been on her wish list, it's something that's in the back of her mind, I can see how she could also consider that for me to have a baby, especially at this stage of life, I would be giving up the entire life that I know. And while she is a newlywed, you have this new husband and he wants a baby, and babies are blessings. Babies are also life-changing responsibilities. So now I don't understand why she almost has an aversion to her husband being attracted to her about, well, the sex is getting to be less, so thank God for that. Now that I do not understand, but I do get why, especially at the stage of life that she's at, why she might not be jumping for joy for the idea of, ooh, let's have a baby. Because let's have a baby translates to let's change my entire life, the only way that I've ever known it, as I'm approaching 50. So they're in the middle of this unfinished house, in this unfinished kitchen, having what is clearly an unfinished conversation. He's carrying on with his fantasy about the baby sleeping next to him. She telling him she don't want to hear that shit. I want to talk about some furniture and some fixtures for my motherfucking kitchen. I don't want to hear no shit about no baby. All I know is my one prayer is that neither one of them got married with the contingency that a baby either was required or was an absolute no. I am hoping that they went into this marriage marrying each other for the sake of being each other's life partners. And if a baby comes, God bless it. And if a baby doesn't, God bless the marriage anyway. So we move on from old money Caroline to fine, fitting, fabulous Caroline, the Black Caroline. Well, she has a salon, it looks like. She said it's been open for 3 months and business is booming. She's talking about how fabulous her salon is and how the events for her salon are even more fabulous. They had a red carpet event for the salon. They had a star-studded who's who grand opening. The producer asked her, well, if it was so star-studded and all the who's who was there, why didn't you invite Lisa or Ion? She said, because as I said, it was the who's who, and they ain't the who's who. So she's talking about her salon and how it went from being an empty space to a booming business in under a year. And the producer asked her, well, how did you make this all happen so fast? She said, money. When you can pay the cost to be the boss, you can get a lot done. You better tell these people the damn truth. And her other secret is that her contractor is also her ex-husband, who built everything from the ground up. And I guess he also gave her an ex-family discount. Now, the first first thing I thought, because I used to be engaged to a contractor, is I know that's some bullshit. I know that shit went left. But she said he did a good job. But apparently that's a damn lie, because her ex-husband happened to show up at the salon, I guess, to check on his work, to look for a check. I don't know what he there for. But he shows up at the salon and he comes in looking for her. The first thing she told him when she saw him is, we've been open for months now and the toilet is already falling on the floor. I said, yep, that sounds about right to me. That's what happens when the contractor is your ex. She's showing him how the toilet is loose and broken. He telling her, well, if you stop moving it, it won't shake. He's trying to tell her don't need but a little silicone and paint. I know you lie. So they do shoddy work in Dubai too? Now they going back and forth. She ready to rip his damn head off, but she said this is an improvement from a year ago, because a year ago she wouldn't have let him come through the gate of her house to pick up his child. But now they're communicating and they're getting along, arguing about his shoddy work. So we move on to Sarah. Now, I don't know anything about Sarah's background yet. All I know is our introduction to Sarah is her at a spa with a spiritual healer, and I said, okay, you that kind of rich person. You so rich, you done made so much money, and you ain't got shit else to do. Now you want to work on your healing and your inner self. I like them kind of rich people too, I understand. Well, she said she's been working on her spiritual healing for about 5 months now, and that's because she's at a place in her life where she has come out of 2 bad marriages, but she wants to move forward. But because she's been through those 2 bad marriages, she carries a lot of anxiety in regard to going into a new relationship, because she doesn't want to be hurt again. So she's kind of at this place where basically she's stuck, because she wants to move forward into the future, but she's stuck because of the past. So they start to get into what is the actual trauma that she's carrying from her marriages. In her first marriage, the issue was abuse. She was physically abused. And in the second marriage, her husband cheated on her. And the pain of going through that was compounded by her son witnessing her go through that. So she said her biggest concern is she doesn't want her son to go through another bad relationship with her. She said her son craves having a father figure in his life, but she doesn't want it to just be any man. She wants it to be the right man, because they've already been through enough and she can't afford mistakes. And honestly, that's very honorable that, as a mother, she's not just considering what she wants and what matters to her and just having a man, that she puts at the forefront of her decision making, at the forefront of her healing process, that I'm not doing this just for me, I'm doing this for my child. So now they get into the ceremony part of it all, and this is where they always have me side-eyeing them. They start all that damn bouncing and beating on drums and shit and screaming and carrying on. I don't know what in the exorcism hell they got going on, that's their business. So we cut back to Lisa, and she's doing some rich, fabulous soccer mom shit, where she's taking her sons to private soccer practice because they've recently been accepted into some Manchester City Academy, some rich people shit. But she says she's willing to deal with this bullshit because they're hoping that one of these 2 kids is going to make it to the big leagues and they'll get a return on their investment. That'll be their retirement plan. Well, while her son is practicing, hoping to get his own riches in the future, she is working on her computer to stay rich today. She's reaching out to her assistant or somebody she's talking to about the work that they're doing on a website for a clothing brand that she has. She said not only is the goal to compete with the very best, it is also to give her haters a front row seat to her success. Now, I thought she was just talking shit until they rolled the clips from last season's reunion, where apparently Old Money Caroline's new husband, Sergio, was talking about Lisa on the internet, saying that her clothing line was funded by his friend, and she was going off letting it be known ain't nobody funded a motherfucking thing around here. Child Caroline was accusing Lisa of stealing designs and all kinds of shit. Well, at that time, Lisa responded to her by telling her she was the Wicked Witch of the Middle East. But she said in the confessional now that yes, Caroline did hurt her feelings and she did not appreciate the things that Caroline had to say about her business, but she doesn't think that Caroline is a witch. She just thinks she's a bitch sometimes. Girl. So we cut over to Ion and Old Money Caroline getting together. They had some sort of beef last season where I guess they couldn't stand each other and they're trying to clear the air and come back together. So they're meeting at some rooftop restaurant and Ion shows up with a peace offering to give to Caroline. It's a pineapple. Now, in certain cultures, them pineapples mean some shit now, especially if they're upside down. So I was kind of wondering what the hell is you bringing her a pineapple for? And Caroline was wondering the same damn thing. She said, excuse me, why you brought this? Ion goes on to explain that the reason she brought the pineapple as a peace offering is because she feels like the pineapple represents her personality. That she might look like a thorn or prickly on the outside, but there's so much sweetness and deliciousness on the inside. Just like you. And Okay. Caroline said, well, after the year they had, she'll take that damn compliment. And they showed us the flashbacks of Caroline and Ion getting into it about who's richer and you need to shut the hell up and all kind of stuff. So she said, I'll take the peace offering. Now, no peace offering is complete without shade. So Ion starts asking Caroline about, did y'all enjoy Beyonce? Caroline said, oh yeah, we did. Did you enjoy it? Ion said, I did. I was like right next to Beyonce and I partied with her mom. Caroline, so you partied with her mom? She said, yes, girl. And I was looking around for you, but we couldn't find you anywhere. Caroline said, you know what? You win. The whole Beyonce thing, you win. You right. You had the most VIP more than anybody else. You win. So now that they've gotten that out of the way, they're catching up about life. And they both recently returned from American college tours where they're touring Ivy League universities for their children who are getting ready to go to college. And they're bonding over their shared fear of releasing their children from the comforts of their riches in Dubai to the dangers of Gotham City and America. They're talking about how their kids essentially live these worry-free lives, that they can go and catch cabs on their own and do what they want to do and live their life safely, but you can't do that in America. So I guess being that they're bonding over this concern, Ion felt comfortable enough to open up to Caroline about, I'm just in this place in my life where I just want to be happy. I want to focus on my happiness because, I've been really sad lately. Caroline said, you've been sad lately? Well, why? I mean, you've been partying with Beyonce. What's there to be sad about? She said, well, what's to be sad about is the backlash that she experienced from sharing her story last year. Now, I haven't watched season 1, so I don't know what exactly her story is, but she's saying that she comes from a culture where people don't talk about these things. So I'm assuming it's some form of abuse or some form of being taken advantage of, probably in the worst ways. But she said after she shared her story, she experienced a lot of backlash and a lot of attacks from her own people. Ion said she wasn't going to tell her story, not even to her closest friends, but she was encouraged by Sarah, the same one who was just at her own spiritual healing appointment. She was encouraged by her to open up and share her story. She said, you should share your story. I'll support you. The people will support you. Only for Sarah to have her ass on the internet talking shit about her, about how Ion is just playing the victim. Ion said she was blindsided, shocked, and shut down from the idea that the very person who encouraged her to share her story was in the media saying that she was just playing the victim. She said she don't know quite how to address the situation, but she knows it has to be addressed. Caroline said, if I was you, I'd curse that motherfucker out. But these rich bitches, so she ain't said it like that. She said, I would go loud with it. Ion said, well, in the spirit of transparency and telling the truth, I also thought I'd let you know that we found out that my mother is older than we thought she was. I always thought she was 65, but apparently she's in her 80s. So that means I might be older than you. And I'm thinking to myself at first, who gives a fuck? What kind of rich bitch is this, y'all? I mean, this ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Why are you telling her this? But that's what happens when you ain't watched season 1. Apparently, the reason Ion is telling her this is because Ion used to take all kinds of digs at Caroline's age. She used to call her old all the time. I don't know why people like to use old as a dig, because ain't old what we all supposed to want to be. But she said finding out that her mother is far older than they thought her mother was might mean that Ion is far older than she thinks she is, maybe even older than Caroline. Caroline said, you couldn't give me better news. I hope your ass is older than me. Is there some way we can go test this shit? Because I drag you to a hospital now. Ion said, I think I might be 50. Caroline said, girl, you ain't 50. Ion said, I might be. You never know, because black don't crack. Girl. So we move on and we cut over to the other Caroline, fine, fit, fabulous, black Caroline. She's meeting with Telen, who I'm assuming is a new introduction to the show. Caroline says she and Telen are the best of friends. Telen used to live in LA. She lived in LA for about 9 years, and then she moved to Dubai about 9 years ago. She said when she moved to Dubai, it was difficult because she didn't know anybody other than her husband. She didn't have any friends. Americans were a lot fewer and more far between back then. And when she met Caroline, it was like meeting an American angel. So they're catching up, and Caroline goes on to invite Telen to a pool day that Lisa is hosting. Now, Telen agrees to go, but before she goes, Caroline has to catch her up on all the tea and the drama that's going on within the group. So Caroline, fine, fit, fabulous Caroline, is telling Telen that old money Caroline was watching her at the last event that they were at. And old money Caroline called Fabulous Caroline the next morning to say, yeah, I see your friend was fall out drunk. She fell over and was face planted on the ground. Her whole ass was in the air. Is that how she has fun? Fabulous Caroline said, yeah, that's how she has fun, and that's how we have fun together. She said, yeah, she might have fell over, but I picked her up. She all right. Telen is saying she don't like that. She don't appreciate that judging her and having to say about her having a face good time. And so, of course, the shit is getting started. And in the confessional, Fabulous Caroline is saying the reason she had to address this is because, yes, old money Caroline is a good friend of hers. They've developed a great friendship over the last year. She is one of her closest friends in Dubai. But when she came for Telen, it rubbed her the wrong way. And see, that's why Ion don't like her having new friends. Because see, now you're about to be out there beefing with Caroline over Telen, and I'm going to have to deal with the interruptions to my friendships. That's why she said no new friends. So we move on to the pool day that Lisa is hosting, and everybody looks so fabulous. Lisa and Ion show up to the event together. Of course, they got to get there early because Lisa is the host. They arrive just early enough to sit down and gossip about these damn people before they get here. But, I'm looking forward to seeing some people more than others. So why you invite them? Now, everybody looked amazing at this event, but Lisa is a living doll to me. Like, she's a real life Barbie. She's so pretty. And Ion is serving a complete look if she's standing still, because this heifer can't walk in her shoes. Her ankles are rolling like tires on a freeway. I mean, them shoes turning her every which way but loose. They had to grab her arm and help her float to the table, because why you got these shit on you can't walk in them? So then we see old money Caroline arrive. She's being dropped off by her husband, who she wants to leave her alone. One thing that damn man gonna do is chauffeur her somewhere. Now, Lisa was talking about Ion and her no new friends policy, but soon as Caroline sits down to the table and they're catching up about how Caroline and Ion made up and they had their pineapple peace offering, and Lisa comes out of nowhere about don't steal my best friend. And that's how I find out that apparently Lisa and Caroline got their own beef. Now, Ion trying to smooth this over about, well, I think the two of you have more in common than you realize. You both love shopping and Birkins. And they're like, well, yeah, that's true. Lisa said, well, it is possible that we got off on the wrong foot. Maybe I misjudged you. I mean, it's going to take some time to verify if I misjudged you, because I might be right about your ass. But I mean, being that we have shopping and Birkins in common, I'm willing to say maybe I misjudged. Caroline said, and that's my damn problem with you, because see, one thing you'll do is you'll give a compliment, but you gonna spin the block and snatch that back. You always got to say some shady shit on the back end. And old money Caroline is in the confessional explaining in her rich voice that she and Lisa went through a terrible time last year. And of course, they show us the flashbacks from the reunion. And Lisa is telling old money Caroline that don't worry about me, worry about your name being on them Epstein flight logs. I'm like, what? And old money Caroline is telling Lisa, well, while you worry about what flight logs I've been on, let's talk about what escort logs your ass is on, because you was an escort in Miami. What kind of is this? But they toasted to new beginnings over brunch, so. On the heels of that peace treaty, we see Sarah, fine, fit, fabulous Caroline, and her girlfriend Telen arriving at this pool day. So the ladies are catching up, and they're, oh, well, where's your husband? And oh, he dropped me off. Where's yours? Oh, you don't have one. And oh, it's so good to see you. And this is the point at which we find out Telen is that girl. She's sharing her background, and she shares that she is Armenian, but she's born and raised in the States. She's from Virginia, but she moved to LA when she was 17 years old for her music career. She was signed to Jamie Foxx. She went on tour with Christina Aguilera. She opened up for Sting. She said, oh, sorry, I'm dropping names. I hate when people do that, but no, I had to let y'all know I ain't nobody to play with. Put some respect on my name. She said she thought she would have spent the rest of her days in LA being a musician and a singer. She said, but when she met her husband, she had to choose between music and love, and she chose love, and it was the best decision she ever made. I mean, she married rich, living the best life. She on TV any damn way. Well, while the lady is letting us know that she ain't nobody to play with, Ion comes out of nowhere with her one-track mind about, well, ladies, let's talk about Beyonce. I said, not that's where you feel powerful, because it's very much giving that this lady is running down her credentials, and she really is that girl. She ain't nobody to be played with, and you need to assert your dominance and say, well, I'm that girl too, and we're going to talk about when I was the best out of all these bitches. Remember when I had V.V.I.P and all you had was VV? She's going on about, I was in the V.V.I.P area. I did not see you host there. Now listen, I get that it's a joke and it's cute and it's funny and all that, but I cannot stand when people's entire personalities is their fandom over a celebrity. When all you can have a conversation about is somebody else or your obsession with that somebody else, you cannot have a conversation with me. I can't take it. Lisa is trying to bring her friend back to earth, and she said, well, listen, in fairness, we had the same tickets. We just happened to get upgraded, okay? She said, no, you will not lower my standards. And since you want to lower my standards, let's talk about you, Telen. I heard that you fell over and had your whole ass out. I said, oh, not you going to embarrass everybody. Telen said, well, yeah, you might have seen that shit. I had a good time. Caroline is steady trying to shame the lady about, well, I believe Sergio saw your vagina. Telen said, well, it's a good thing I waxed that day. Telen is my kind of girl. Leave me fuck alone. Don't come in with that bullshit. So now Fabulous Caroline is trying to step in because this is her friend that she invited to the shit, and I did not invite her for you to be talking shit and dragging her. I mean, but I did tell her you was gonna probably do this. So Fabulous Caroline jumps in to say, well, I mean, she took a little topple. It was a little tumble, but I mean, it wasn't that deep. Old Money Caroline said, no, it wasn't a little topple. It was a face plant. Her whole ass was out. Now everybody trying to figure out what the hell is your game plan? What is your goal? Like, why are you so obsessed with she done showed her ass? Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that in friend groups and girlfriend circles and things like that, sometimes there's a friend or two in the mix that just rubs you the wrong way. You don't get along with them. They don't rock how I rock, and I don't want to be nowhere that they at because I don't want them embarrassing my ass. So I get that. That might have been some version of where she was coming from, but something about this doesn't give, ooh, your friend kind of wild and she gonna embarrass me. It almost comes off like I just want to judge her. I want to look down my nose at her until she does enough to gain my approval. So now in the middle of all of this, Fabulous Caroline gets up to go to the bathroom and everybody is just looking at her because she seems to be on something. I don't know if she drank too much. I don't know if she on a pill. I don't know if she pulled something. I don't know what the hell she got going on. But sis looks like she is barely holding it together. And Old Money Caroline is asking them, what she got going on? So Sarah takes the opportunity to start talking about herself, and she's talking about this recent spiritual healing appointment that she had and how she's working on herself. And as she's telling the story, Ion starts to tear up, and they ask Ion, are you okay? And she said, no, I'm not. I'm just overwhelmed by the bullshit. Well, Ion stole the moment. She said, you know, it really makes me feel some type of way to listen to you sit here, Sarah, and talk like that about healing and overcoming things when you were the main person that encouraged me to share my story, and then you were the same main person who got in the media and said I was playing victim. Well, Sarah started out playing dumb. She said, what are you talking about? When did I ever call you a victim? Ion said it was all over the internet. It was everywhere. Stop playing with me. Sarah said, well, I mean, if that's what you're talking about, I never said you were a victim. I just said that your story was not an excuse for you to be mean to people. To which Ion responds with, how am I using my story to be a victim, Sarah? Sarah said, once again, I never said you were playing victim. Sarah says, as a matter of fact, I gave you a shoulder to cry on. I was there for you throughout your therapy. You and your husband reached out to tell me thank you for being there for you. Ion said, yeah, you gave me a shoulder to cry on before you put a knife in my back. Sarah strikes me as the type to play semantics games about, well, I didn't say that, I said this, and I know this sounds like that, but that meant this. Well, now Lisa is pissed off because, see, this is why she said that no new friendship. Because, see, now I'm about to have to come across this table. Lisa said, just tell us why you were out there on the internet and everywhere else to anybody who would listen, calling her a victim. Now, they get to yelling about who's deflecting, and in the midst of all this yelling and carrying on, Old Money Caroline stepped in. She said, hey, I would like to enjoy my bread, and y'all are interfering with my rich energy. I'm gonna need y'all to take this conversation and go talk amongst yourselves about that bullshit. Get from around me with this shit. And that's exactly what they did. They went off and talked to the side by the pool by themselves. So when they go to sit down, Ion starts out by telling Sarah how she trusted her and she confided in her and she really believed that she would be there for her, and she was so hurt that Sarah would go to the media and say the things that she said. Sarah said, yeah, I understand, just like I was hurt that you would go on Twitter and tell the whole world that I don't own any businesses and I'm broke. Now you know in the land of rich bitch, that's big shade. You don't own no businesses and you broke, oh hell no. Sarah said, on top of that, I posted a picture of myself on Twitter with a beautiful quote, and all you could come under my picture and say is some, oh, so you a model for Twitter now? Now this kind of got me stepping back, because see, I'd be ready to jump in on people's behalf, but now I'm like, well, hold on, did you say that before or after she went to the internet saying you was playing victim? Because now why would you get your ass on the internet to say some shady under your friend's post. It's kind of given I'm an undercover hater and I like to play victim. Back at the table is some more starting. Telen is asking old money Caroline, hey, we all right? Old money Caroline said, yeah, I mean, why wouldn't we be? Telen said, because I mean, it was brought back to me that you had some deep concerns about the exposure of my vajayjay, and I'm just trying to understand why and make sure that everything is all good, because the way it was brought back to me was like, oh my God, I can't believe Telen behaves like that. So now old money Caroline is playing crazy, and she's looking at fine, fit, fabulous Caroline about, is that what I said to you? She said, yeah, that's what you said to me, and I think we can all agree that the 7 a.m. calls from Caroline should stop. Well, old money Caroline said, oh, that ain't no problem. I won't call you again, with pleasure. And in the confessional, old money Caroline is saying, you know, Brooks and I talk every day, and Brooks is apparently fine, fit, fabulous Caroline. I guess they have other names for each other because they're both named Caroline. But she's saying, I don't understand this shit because she and I are very close. We talk on the phone every day. So if she had a problem with me saying what I said, why didn't she say something to me right then and there? She said absolutely nothing when I was telling her this. She actually snickered and laughed with me, and then you go to the girl and tell her all kind of shit when you said nothing to me? And that's a good point. But I told y'all a long time ago, my grandmama told me when somebody come telling you so-and-so said such and such about you, ask them, well, what did you say? And why were they so comfortable talking to you about me? So yeah, old money Caroline got a good point. Why would you sit there and key with her about this girl that's supposed to be such a good friend to you? And then you also claim that old money Caroline is a good friend to you, and you don't say about her saying some shady shit. You just go start shit. But old money Caroline done told y'all she is here to enjoy her food and her vibes. She ain't got time for this shit. She said, look, I don't want no smoke. I said it in a joking way. I ain't got no problem. I hope you ain't got none either. So then we cut back over to the argument between Ion and Sarah. And Ion is saying, so what you're telling me is I said something bad about you, so you went and told the whole world that I was playing victim. I mean, well, if it happened in that order. Sarah clarified to say, no, what I said is you can't victimize yourself and hurt other people because you're hurt. Don't bleed on people who didn't cut you. Don't you know, Ion asked her, do I look like a person that bleeds? What? When I tell you that conversation would have been over because that's too much dumb at one time. Sarah was confused as hell. Sarah said, what? Ion took the opportunity to make herself the victim again. She said, all I want you to say is, you know what, Ion, I hear you. You opened up to me. You trusted me. I did you wrong. Sarah said, all I said was you victimized yourself because you want to be the center of attention. Ion said, I am the center of attention. If Airhead was a person. Sarah said, you know what, this is too much bullshit for me. I don't even want your sorry. Keep it. Ion gets up to walk away and says, well, we don't have to apologize to each other. Just don't pretend to be this good, kind, caring person because you're not a good person. Maybe you need to check your soul. Well, Sarah's in her shady bag now because she told Ion, well, maybe you should buy your own clothes and stop borrowing them. Oh, girl, just what? So the episode ends with them going marching back to the table. They telling each other that they full of Ion tells Sarah, maybe you should stop getting all those face surgeries and get your soul surgery. I said, not quoting Beyonce. So they took their fight back to the table, and it looks like the drama will continue next week. They got all kind of stuff going on. Lisa's mom is coming to visit, and I guess she's going to slide it on her husband that she's trying to move her mama to Dubai. Then it looks like old money Caroline has plans to come to the U.S., but her new husband is concerned about her seeing her ex-husband. And then, of course, the ladies will be fighting amongst themselves because what would a Real Housewives franchise be without it? But that's it. That's all, and I ain't got no more. Thank you so much for coming down here listening to me and letting me get this off my chest. Please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. And in the meantime, until next time, just like every time, I love you and I mean it. Bye.